My wife slept with my younger brother. So I taught them both a lesson they'll never forget. Beat my brother up, served the divorce in front of the whole family, and took her car while she screamed in the driveway. I'm writing this from my truck parked outside a bar. I haven't slept in 36 hours, and I don't care about grammar at the moment. I've been with Melissa for 10 years, married for 8. I'm 32, she's 30. We thought we had everything figured out. I work in construction, starting as a laborer, and now I'm a foreman managing crews. I worked hard to give us a good life. Nice house, her BMW, vacations twice a year, the whole package. About 3 months ago, things started to feel off. She was always on her phone, but now she was glued to it, taking it to the bathroom, sleeping with it under her pillow, jumping whenever it buzzed. She started working late at her marketing job, sometimes until 10 or 11 at night. When I asked about dinner, she said she already ate at the office. Our intimacy? Forget it. It went from 3 times a week to maybe once a month, and even then it felt like a favor to me. I'm not some desperate guy begging for affection, so I backed off. I thought it was work stress, maybe she needed space. Then there was family drama. My younger brother Kyle, 26, unemployed, living in my parents' basement, started acting strangely around me. We used to grab beers every Friday, but suddenly, he was too busy or too tired. Whatever. I had my own life. Last night changed everything. Melissa passed out early after 2 glasses of wine, and her phone was on the nightstand without a password. She usually guards it tightly, but the wine knocked her out cold. I just wanted to set her alarm for her early meeting. That's when I saw a notification. Kyle, can't wait to taste you again tomorrow. My blood ran cold. I opened the messages, 4 months worth. Pictures of her in lingerie I had never seen. Videos of them together in his rundown apartment while I was at work. Detailed messages about what they wanted to do with each other. Her telling him how I could never satisfy her like he does. He called her his big brother's suit. I took screenshots of everything. Every message, photo, and video. Uploaded them all to my cloud. My hands weren't shaking. I felt nothing but pure, calculated rage. She talked about leaving me but wanted to secure her future first. Apparently, I was just a wallet to her. Kyle was telling her to get pregnant by him and pass it off as mine. They were planning to cuckold me with my own brother's child. I went outside and sat in my truck until dawn, not trusting myself to be in the same house as her. Called in sick to work for the first time in 5 years. She left for work this morning like nothing happened, kissed me goodbye. I wanted to spit in her face. I know exactly what I'm going to do, call first, then her, and then I'm burning it all down. Edit. I'm not looking for advice or counseling. I'm not interested in being the bigger person. They want to play stupid games. They're about to win stupid prizes. Update 1. I confronted my brother. A lot of you wanted an update, so here it is. After Melissa left for work, I drove straight to Kyle's apartment. It's a rundown complex on the east side where half the cars are on blocks. I knew he'd be home. He hasn't worked in 2 years and just leeches off our parents, apparently getting involved with my wife for entertainment. I didn't knock. I still had my spare key from when I helped him move in. I walked in to find him on the couch in his boxers playing video games at 10 a.m. typical. Hey bro, what's up? Why aren't you at work? I didn't say a word. Just walked over and grabbed him by the throat. Here's the thing about Kyle, he's always been soft. While I was doing sports and working construction in the summers, he was inside playing games. He's got 4 inches and 50 pounds on me, but it's all fat. I'm 5 feet 10 inches at 190, all muscle from hauling materials and swinging hammers. I dragged him off the couch and slammed him through his glass coffee table. He started screaming, begging, trying to understand what was happening. I still hadn't said a word. The first punch broke his nose. The second split his lip. By the 5th or 6th, he was crying like the coward he is. Blood everywhere, trying to shield himself. That's when I finally spoke. You've been screwing my wife. The terror on his face was palpable. He tried to deny it, but I was there for blood, not conversation. I beat him until my knuckles were raw, ribs, face, stomach, anywhere I could reach. He kept screaming, "I'm sorry," and each word made me hit harder. The neighbors called the cops. 2 units showed up, guns drawn. I was sitting on what was left of his coffee table, smoking a cigarette, while Kyle lay unconscious and bloody at my feet. They cuffed me and took me in. Here's where it gets interesting. The cops were surprisingly cool about it. One of them asked, "Caught him with your wife?" I nodded. They exchanged glances. Kyle refused to press charges, claiming he fell down the stairs, despite his broken nose, 2 black eyes, 3 cracked ribs, and a concussion. They didn't buy it, but without his cooperation, they had to let me go after a few hours. My phone had blown up. Melissa called 47 times, my parents called 20, and Kyle's apartment manager contacted our mom about the disturbance. I drove home to find Melissa's car in the driveway. She left work early, probably got a call from Kyle before I rearranged his face. I walked in to find her pacing the living room, tears streaming down her face. The moment she saw me, she rushed over. "Baby, what happened?" Kyle called me crying, said you attacked him. "What's going on?" I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I'd loved for a decade, given everything to, and all I felt was disgust. "Cut the crap, Melissa." Her face went pale. She tried to act innocent, reaching for my hands. I pulled out my phone and showed her one of the screenshots, her naked in our bed with my brother's member in her mouth. "That's what's going on." She collapsed, breaking down theatrically, sobbing, hyperventilating, trying to grab my legs, saying it just happened. She was confused, and Kyle manipulated her. 4 months, Melissa, for months of sleeping with him in our bed, in his apartment, planning to pass his kid off as mine. "You think I'm stupid?" She quickly shifted from crying to anger, screaming that I was never home, never paid attention to her, while Kyle actually saw her. The mask came off completely. This wasn't my wife, it was a stranger wearing her face. I walked past her to our bedroom and started packing. Not my stuff, but Kyle's. Every gift I'd ever given him. The watch for his birthday, the PS5 from last Christmas, the laptop I bought when he claimed he was going back to school, went into boxes. "What are you doing?" she screamed, trying to return some things I bought for a brother I no longer have. She tried to block the door. "We need to talk about this. We can work through this." I laughed, actually laughed in her face. "Work through you sleeping with my brother? No thanks." I pushed past her and loaded the boxes into my truck. She followed me out, still crying, still in her work clothes, makeup running down her face. The neighbors were watching from their windows. Good. Let them see her true self. Before I left, I turned back to her. "I know everything, Melissa. Every message, every picture, every video, every lie. My lawyer will be in touch." I drove away with her screaming in the driveway. I dropped Kyle's things at Goodwill, then went to my parents' house. They already knew something was wrong. My mom was in tears. My dad was furious. They had driven to Kyle's apartment and found him being loaded into an ambulance. "What the hell did you do?" my dad demanded. I pulled out my phone and showed them everything. I watched as my mother's face shifted from disappointment in me to pure rage at Kyle. My father looked disgusted. "That little punk," he whispered. "In your house with your wife." They tried calling Kyle, but he didn't answer. They cut him off completely. My mom even called the ambulance to find out which hospital to avoid visiting. It's been 12 hours since I confronted him. Melissa has called over 200 times and sent long texts. I haven't responded to any of them. Kyle tried calling from the hospital, but I blocked him. Tomorrow, I meet with a divorce lawyer. The day after is my sister's birthday party. Both families will be there. They want to mess around. They're about to find out who they're dealing with. Update 2, the lawyer and the plan. I met with the divorce attorney this morning. He was in an expensive suit, had a corner office, and had a sharp look in his eyes. Exactly what I wanted. I showed him everything, the messages, the photos, the videos. He actually whistled at one point. "This is the cleanest adultery case I've seen in 20 years, he said. "Your brother's an idiot for putting it all in writing. Here's what I found out. My state has a fault divorce. Adultery is grounds for it. She gets nothing, no alimony, no share in the house, which I bought before we married, and no retirement split. She can keep her 401k and car. Oh, about that car. Melissa loves her BMW. The latest model, fully loaded, cost me $80,000, and guess whose name is on the loan? Just mine. She isn't even a co-signer because her credit was terrible when we got it, and I was trying to be a good husband." The lawyer smiled when I told him. "You can stop making payments anytime. It'll hit your credit, but from what you're showing me might be worth it." I smiled back, or I could report it as stolen since she's no longer authorized to drive my vehicle. "I didn't hear that," he said, but he was smiling. Then we got to the fun part. Melissa has been busy. She opened 3 credit cards in my name without me knowing, $32,000 in debt. Fraud is a felony, and my lawyer is adding that to the divorce filing. But here's the kicker. Kyle's been bragging. Multiple people have screenshots of him talking about sleeping with Melissa in our family group chats. My cousin showed me messages where Kyle asked for money because Melissa's husband is wealthy and she'll get half in the divorce. The audacity. My sister Brittany's birthday is tomorrow. There's a big party at my parents' place, with both families in attendance. I've got everything ready, divorce papers printed, evidence organized, and I even hired a process server to be on standby. But I want to hand her the papers myself in front of everyone. Melissa's been staying at a friend's place since the confrontation and still texts me constantly. It's pathetic. Please just talk to me. I love you. Kyle means nothing. It was just schmecks. You're throwing away 10 years. I'll do anything. This morning, she switched tactics, sending me naked selfies. Remember what you're missing, baby? Yeah, I remember. Those same poses in the pictures she sent my brother. Deleted. Then she got nasty. You're really going to throw me away for one mistake? You were never home anyway. At least Kyle made me feel wanted. You'll regret this. I'll take everything in the divorce. I finally responded with just one text. See you at Brittany's party tomorrow. She called immediately, but I didn't answer. Kyle's out of the hospital and staying with our parents since I had his apartment manager evict him. I was his lease guarantor. Oops. My mom told me he looks like he went 10 rounds with a truck. Good. She also said he keeps asking if I'll talk to him, that he needs to explain. What's there to explain? You had my wife for 4 months. Pretty straightforward. The repo company is scheduled, the server is ready, and the divorce papers are in my truck. Tomorrow, I end this. Oh, and for those asking, yes, I'm getting tested. I already tested clean, but will do follow-ups. At least they use protection. Small mercies, right? Edit. To the guy who said I'm too angry and should process my emotions healthily, screw off. And to everyone else saying I should have killed him, I'm not going to prison for these two. I have plans for my life, and they don't involve either of them. Update 3. The birthday party explosion. It's done. I woke up this morning feeling nothing. No nerves, no anxiety, just cold focus. Like the morning of a big work project when everything has to be perfect. I put on my best shirt and the watch Melissa gave me for our anniversary. Ironic, right? And grabbed the briefcase with everything inside. Divorce papers, evidence folder, even printouts of her fraud activities. I got to my parents' house at 2 p.m. The party started at 1 o'clock. I wanted everyone to settle in first. The whole family was there. My side, parents, Brittany and her husband, cousins, aunts, uncles, and Melissa's side, her parents, her sister, her brother, and his wife, maybe 40 people total. Kyle was in the corner, looking like a beaten dog, face still purple and yellow, left eye swollen shut, moving carefully because of his ribs. He saw me walk in and immediately tried to leave, but my dad blocked him. You're staying, Dad told him. You're going to face this like a man for once in your pathetic life. Melissa was in the kitchen with her mom and sister, wearing a dress I bought her last year, playing the perfect daughter-in-law. She saw me, and her face lit up like I was there to reconcile. Delusional. I ignored everyone, set my briefcase on the entry table, grabbed a beer, and waited. Dinner was at 4, with 2 long tables pushed together in the backyard. I sat at the opposite end from Melissa, who kept trying to make eye contact. Kyle was between our parents, staring at his plate. After everyone ate and before cake, I stood up and clinked my beer bottle with a fork. I'd like to say something. The chatter quieted down. Melissa looked hopeful, and her mom smiled at me, probably thinking I was about to toast Brittany or announce we were working things out. First, happy birthday, Brittany. Sorry for what's about to happen at your party. Brittany knew something was up. She'd been my rock through this and nodded for me to continue. As you all know, Melissa and I have been together for 10 years, married for 8. What you don't know is that for the last 4 months, she's been sleeping with my brother. Dead silence. You could hear the neighbor's dog barking 3 houses down. Melissa's mom gasped, and her dad stood up. What the hell are you talking about? I pulled out the evidence folder, laid out printed screenshots on the table, messages, and pictures with their faces visible, everything. 4 months in my bed, in his apartment, planning to have his kid and pass it off as mine. Kyle tried to run, but my cousin, 6 feet 4 inches and 280 pounds, plays semi-pro football, grabbed him and sat him back down. Melissa went pale, then red, and started sobbing. How could you do this to me? Air our private business? I shot back. Our private business? You mean you sleeping with my brother? Her dad was reading the messages, his face turning red. My mom walked over to Kyle and slapped him so hard his head snapped back. "In your brother's bed," she screamed. "In the bed he shares with his wife? You piece of trash." That's when I pulled out the divorce papers, walked over to Melissa, who was crying hard, mascara everywhere, and dropped them in front of her. "You're served for adultery. You get nothing, no house, no alimony, no retirement. Oh, and these." I pulled out the credit card statements. $32,000 in credit cards you opened in my name. That's fraud, felony fraud. My lawyer's filing charges Monday. Her sister tried to intervene. "This is cruel. You could have done this privately," I replied. "Like how they slept together privately in my house while I worked to support this family?" Melissa's dad finally spoke. "Melissa, is this true?" She sobbed harder, which was answer enough. "We're leaving," he announced, grabbing his wife and moving. Melissa tried to follow, but I had one more card to play. "Oh, Melissa, that BMW you love so much? The one in my name? Check the driveway." Everyone moved to look. The repo truck was already there, the driver hooking up her car. I texted him when dinner started. Melissa lost it, completely lost it. She ran outside screaming, trying to stop the driver. Her heels broke on the gravel, she fell, skinning her knees, dress riding up, still crawling toward the car, begging the driver to stop. "That's my car. You can't take my car. I need it for work." The driver, professional as can be, just kept working. "Ma'am, please step back. This vehicle is being repossessed for non-payment." I'll pay right now. It's not your name on the loan." "Ma'am," she turned to me, mascara streaking down her face, dress torn, knees bleeding. "Please don't do this." "I'm sorry. I'll do anything." I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman who shared my bed for 8 years, who promised to love and honor me, who slept with my brother and laughed about it in their messages. "You already did anything. That's why we're here." I turned and walked back inside. Behind me, she was screaming, not crying anymore, primal, rage-filled screaming, threatening to kill me, Kyle, and herself. Her parents had to physically drag her to their car. Kyle was still at the table, surrounded by family members who looked like they wanted to finish what I started at his apartment. He finally looked up at me. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry there are consequences, but you're not sorry you slept with my wife." My dad stood up. "You're no longer welcome in this family, Kyle. Pack your things and get out of my house tonight." "Dad, please." Tonight. The party was obviously over. Melissa's family left in a rush, her still screaming from their car. My family stayed, supportive but shocked. Brittany hugged me. "What a birthday present." "Sorry, Britt. Are you kidding? This was better than dinner and a show. It's been 6 hours." Melissa has called from her mom's phone, her sister's phone, and random numbers. I don't answer. Kyle's been texting from a new number since I blocked his old one. Still don't care. The house is quiet. I'm sitting in my living room, beer in hand, looking at our wedding photos. I thought I'd feel something, sadness, maybe loss, but I feel nothing but free. Final update, the aftermath. It's been a while, so I figured I owed you all a final update. The divorce is finalized, the fastest my lawyer has ever seen, thanks to the evidence I had. Melissa's lawyer told her to accept whatever deal I offered. She got her clothes, her personal items, and her 401k. That's it. No alimony, no house, nothing. The fraud charges scared her straight. I agreed not to press charges if she signed everything without contest. She did. The house felt different after she left. I hired some buddies from work to gut the master bedroom. New paint, new furniture, new everything. We burned our mattress in the backyard with a case of beer and some friends. Therapeutic as hell. Kyle disappeared after my parents kicked him out. He stayed with a friend for a week and then vanished. My mom heard from a cousin that he moved to Florida and is living with some girl he met online. I haven't heard from him since, and I don't care. Here's the funny part. Melissa tried to spin the story on social media, posting about how I was abusive and controlling, how she found comfort with Kyle because I neglected her. Brittany shut that down quickly, posting the screenshots of Melissa planning to baby trap me with Kyle's kid. Melissa deleted all her social media within 24 hours. She's living with her parents now and lost her job. Turns out, her company frowns on employees who commit credit fraud. Last I heard, she was working retail and driving a 2003 Honda Civic. Karma's a bitch. I took some time for myself, therapy. Not because I felt guilty, but to ensure I didn't carry this burden forward. The therapist said I handled it better than most. You felt your anger, acted on it within legal bounds, and moved on. That's healthy. I started hitting the gym harder and got a promotion at work, now a site supervisor. I bought a motorcycle I've wanted for years, but Melissa always said was too dangerous. And yes, I'm dating again. Nothing serious yet. Her name's Jenna, she's a nurse. No drama, no games. We're taking it slow. She knows the whole story. Hard not to in a town this size. She says she respects how I handled it. Most guys would have either rolled over or gone to prison. She told me I didn't do either. My family is closer now. Funny how cutting out the cancer makes everything else healthier. Sunday dinners don't have that weird tension anymore. Nobody mentions Kyle. It's like he never existed. Some of you might wonder if I regret anything. The violence, the public humiliation, any of it. No, they made their choices. I made mine. They wanted to play stupid games in my house, in my bed with my life. They won their stupid prizes. I sleep like a baby in my new bed. I wake up without checking anyone's phone. I come home to peace instead of lies. And that repo video, Melissa crawling across the driveway, dress hiked up, screaming about her car. My cousin recorded it. It's saved in 3 places. Not to share or embarrass her further, but to remind myself whenever I feel weak. That's what betrayal looks like. That's what desperation looks like. That's what I walked away from. I'm done with this chapter, moving forward and not looking back. To anyone reading this in a similar situation, you don't have to take it. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to be the bigger person. Sometimes burning everything to the ground is the only way to build something new. Thanks for following along. I'm out. Edit, since people keep asking. No, I don't regret beating Kyle up. The only regret is not hitting him harder. And no, I haven't forgiven either of them. Forgiveness is for those who deserve it. They don't. Final edit. Melissa reached out through a mutual friend last week, wanting to meet for closure. I laughed so hard I nearly lost it. I told the friend to tell her my closure was watching her crawl across that driveway. Haven't heard anything since. Life's good, boys. Life's really good. Thank you for watching until the end. If you liked our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.